Arr. Kong Skull Island. So yes, this is HD Calcat with other things. Skull Island. Yes, so this is a movie review of a film that got to a wasn't really a special screening. It was just the first screening of the day, but it was in the theater with like reclining seats. Ooh, the pattern, yeah. And this is season 9 episode. Let's recover all the old ones, but this is season 9, and so I went to the King Kong movie. There was one about 10 years ago or something with Peter Jackson, but this is another one that's going back to the original. Well, not the original. They're going back to the 70s ones because this story takes place like in the 70s. Minor spoiler, plot spoilers. It opens up with a sort of a. There's a World War II. Two planes are fighting each other and they crash on this weird island, and the Japanese guy and the American guy, and then we cut to 40 years later in the 70s, the end of Vietnam, and there is a expedition called the Monarch expedition that's was going to be sent out, but then the funding goes away. But at the last minute, John Goodman's character is able to get the funding anyway, after convincing them. And he goes off to Da Nang, to Vietnam, and the air base, and gets Samuel L. Jackson and his troop to go to this mysterious island that is surrounded by storms for some reason and wasn't available before. And they have a satellite photo, that's very early 70s satellites. And they go to the island, and the creatures on the island basically do Jurassic Park Part 3 and spend the movie picking everyone off. Well, almost everyone off. I won't give away what happens in the end, but this is a really quickie review. The characters are doing things. They're at first they light these charges, and it actually from the helicopters. They bring Hueys in there. They drop down the helicopters, and they wake the wrong creatures, but they don't know this. They think Kong, who attacks them, knocks them out of the sky, is the main bad guy. So the lieutenant guy is determined to kill them, played by Samuel L. Jackson, to kill Kong. But the other group ends up on another part of the island where they find the lost World War II pilot guy, who survived longer than the Japanese guy, and he has befriended natives on the island that help him, and the natives have told him that Kong is a good guy, and there's a worse beast on the island that also has small versions of himself. This is yet another movie with lizard dragon things in it, like The Wall, the Great Wall. This has lizard dragon things in it, except they have more like 2 arms and a long tail, and the dragons. Dragon bug things. Yeah, and there's a fight with them. Of course, there's a big fight, sort of a dragon Mothra thing. Yeah, so we have lots of allusions to the Godzilla movies and the King Kong movies and the remakes from the 70s. Not the original 30s one, and not really the remake from Peter Jackson. Totally blanking on the director, but yeah, it was cool. It's a good movie. Go and see it in theaters. It just came out. I didn't want to give away the whole thing. The gore effects are cool. The special effects were Industrial Light and Magic, and some other companies. It was not Weta this time. It was ILM. I think they used motion capture on Kong. They used sort of a motion capture like they did the last one, and it's gotten better. It's improved since the last time they did a thing like that. So that was cool. There's also some good models and stuff, but there was a lot. Probably they tried not to make it look overly CG. They tried to use practical things. I'm not sure how they got more munitions for a World War II airplane gunboat that they had built, but or that the guy had built, and how they had more munitions for it to fight the bad guy with. But you know, it's a movie, it's an action movie with a giant ape and giant lizard things, so I guess suspend disbelief a little. And also there were like Super 8 like things here and there, you know, film that was designed to look like old footage in there, and some actual old footage. And it was like, you know, even if they have a big giant screen, you know, you still look at a Super 8 projection, it's still not tiny. It would just be real blurry. So I guess they just kind of went halfway. It would be, yeah, so they made it tiny. Well, it was a big screen, though. So it would be, you wouldn't see it at all on the TV screen. But yeah, as I recall, projection screens, even up until the 70s, the early Brown productions in the 70s, there were projection screens like the size of a window. So it wasn't like it was a tiny TV screen thing. It was the size of a window. So you had like that, and you were like, you know, a window. It'd be like, and the screen would be up there. So it would be, you would see the screen and it'd be big. It just wouldn't be the size of a movie theater screen because it's only 8mm film. So yeah, anyway, so it would be very, you know, they blew it up to 16mm. Yeah. But yeah, oh well, it's a nitpick. It's the special effects are pretty cut rate, pretty awesome. Yeah, it reminded me of that. It reminded me of a number of things, but mainly that. So. And of course there's an after credit sequence where they apply Godzilla vs. King Kong, which was a classic. They're going to remake that. I'm not sure if they will, but they implied it at the end. Why remake a classic? Well, this was a decent remake of the movie. The audience for the allegedly special screening was about a third of the theater, but it was a special screening. So really only. So cool. Friday. So, yeah, go see Kong Skull Island. It's definitely throwback to the original, not the original 30s one, but the 70s one. It's like creature features type of thing. So, go see it.